For the past 2 days, national political attention has actually turned to Western Australia, where the Prime Minister and Opposition Leader Peter Dutton have both been visiting. However, their visits couldn't be any different. While the Prime Minister was in Perth to talk about The Voice and to host a big fundraising dinner, Peter Dutton was instead visiting remote communities to hear from them about Labor's changes to the cashless welfare card. One of the mayors who's been critical of the Prime Minister's move and who met with Coalition MPs yesterday was Laverton Shire Mayor Patrick Hill. Patrick, thank you for joining me on Credlin. You met with some of the Coalition MPs and Peter Dutton yesterday. What did you tell them?
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you very much for airing it and bringing us to this attention. We had a really good conversation yesterday afternoon. We had members of the Aboriginal, local Aboriginal people here, members from the police and ambulance, people that attend all these disturbances that we're having around the town. We told them that basically what's happened since the cashless card's gone, what was happening during when the cashless card was in place, and prior to that, and the level of violence and alcohol abuse and that's arisen since the cashless card's gone has just really got into the extreme situation and put a huge amount of pressure on everything here in Laverton and the Northern Goldfields, including our neighbouring town, Leonora. Especially it puts pressure on our services like the ambulances, the police, the hospital. And the other night there, last Thursday night, when I finished a council meeting here, I drove out of here and there was a lady laying on the ground out the front of the Shire offices here that had been beaten up, something chronic. And we called the police and the ambulance and luckily, she's still alive. I don't know how. I thought she was dead. That's how, it's a critical situation. Something got to be done, and we're very disappointed that the Prime Minister could not attend Laverton and see for himself what this is all about and hear from the people involved.
Yeah, it must be very frustrating for you. I mean, you've written a letter to the Prime Minister outlining a plan that you've put together about the help that you need to support your community. Tell us a little bit about it and what's the government's response?
Yeah, well, we haven't had any response back from the government yet, but what it is we see a need for residential welfare people in town, in Laverton, to oversee this on a daily basis to try and curb the violence and stuff that's going on and to get the kids to school and the proper education and all that. But basically what it is, we're calling for Laverton to be a Northern Goldfields community, a social hub where we can, try and fix some of these problems. And we went through to name a number of things that could be done. And the first thing is housing. We want about 30 houses in town. And we want the infrastructure to carry out all these government services and consultation, especially. And we want improvements to the schools' education as far as.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm out of time. This is so important. The Prime Minister just flies over your town. It's very economically important to the community, but more importantly, it's very socially important as well.